Remember to subscribe for daily top Reddit stories. Okay, story time. How do you tell if someone is attracted to you or just being very friendly? If they act the exact same way with other people, you're out of luck. Someone tells you years later. As my dear old dad used to say, women who work for tips are not flirting with you. If they're a cashier, waiter, clerk, etc., don't get your hopes up. I was once called into HR for allegedly flirting with an employee, not part of my own team. Her proof, I was always friendly, offered her milk to go with her coffee, and worst of all, once at an after work, I bought a round of drinks for everyone, her included. The head of HR was a bit puzzled about the whole situation, and asked her what would she then suggest we do to resolve the situation, and she requested that I would stop being friendly to her, and just leave her be. This poor woman just could not accept that I was being friendly. You don't. One person's just being friendly is another's take me to a hotel and duck me right now. Flirting's basically a dumb game of chicken with gradual escalation, or just ask if they haven't, so usually pretty obvious. You don't. It's a leap of faith. That's all it is. By reading someone's comment on Reddit about how they missed all the signs and then you realize that the same thing happened to you and now you lie there contemplating your life. If they ask you to take off your clothes, chances are they are just being friendly. I automatically assume people are being friendly. It's habit. Edit. Geez. Didn't expect to wake up with 50+ replies in my inbox in result to self-deprecation. But I think I should clarify some things. I'm aromantic now after struggling with feelings towards romance in general for a bit. But before I discovered what aromanticism was, I just assumed people were being friendly because I was, and still am, too unattractive. Flirting wasn't my strong suit either, and I had a terrible track record with guys. Read. One who was an autistic furry liar, and the other who was an autistic, unhygienic, clueless dude. Plus I can't commit to a relationship. Depression. Though a guy I know apparently has a crush on me, and from our interactions I just assumed he was being friendly. Imagine my surprise when his mom told me he was crushing on me. I never would have known otherwise. Edit 2. Okay, one more edit. I realize that not all autistic guys and furry guys are bad BFs. You all do you. This was just a case of bad luck for me. Said guy who has a crush on me also has autism and he's a really kind-hearted dude beneath his frowny exterior. Hygienic too. It's not always easy. With my fiancée, when we started hanging out I would convince myself she liked me and then talk myself out of it. I would walk her home and she'd give me a really awkward friend hug then run inside, leaving me feeling like I'd misread the signals completely. This went on for about 3 weeks before we finally kissed at a party. I asked her about it afterwards and it turns out she was doing the same thing. 7 years and a proposal later, I think she might have a crush on me. Guys, do they ever initiate the friendliness? Responding to someone else's kindness is a lot different than initiating it, but even still the only sure way to know is to ask. Pro tip: you'll never know if you don't ask. No, the stripper is not attracted to you. Usually the realization comes 10 years later when you are trying to fall asleep. If you get an arranged marriage it's a 50/50. Ask them. Well, you can't ever really know, like even if she sleeps with you, she might just be Canadian, so honestly you shouldn't get your hopes up and you better keep looking and wondering. Really, with some people you cannot tell. I knew a girl who was super friendly with me. I got interested, and then a few weeks around her I saw this was how she treated every guy. Smiles. Oh stop it you. Flirting. I wasn't special here. I moved on. I knew a girl who friendly with everyone. We sat down at a birthday party and talked non-stop for 3 hours. She was friendly with people, but I hadn't seen her do this before. I got her number and called her. We talked until my phone died. Our 10th wedding anniversary was about 6 weeks ago. Our oldest kid turned 7 in a few months. When I met my last girlfriend our eyes met across a crowded dance floor. She rolled her eyes at me, so I picked them up and rolled them back. Step 1. Cut a hole in a box. Assume attraction and ask them out. If they say no, you get your answer. If they say yes, you get a date. Depends on where you live. Here in England, being anything other than cold and aloof is seen as basically throwing yourself at someone. If she says WTF step bro, you were wrong. By how they look at you or act around you versus other people. Oh, that's easy. No one is ever attracted to me. There's no good answer to that question. A million different people may give a million different signals, hints, signs that they are or are not interested in you romantically. What I've found works for me and what I think is the kindest, least awkward way, both towards yourself and the other person, is to have some sort of consistently positive relationship, repeated interaction with them first, and then, in a light-hearted and friendly way and without implying any kind of emotional pressure, just ask if they'd like to go on a date with you. Use the word date. If they say yes, congrats. They're into you at least enough to give it a shot and see where it goes. If they say no, for the love of all that is holy, don't take it as a personal insult. It probably isn't. Keep it light-hearted and take the refusal with grace. They aren't into you, and throwing a tantrum over it or trying to pressure them further isn't going to help them be into you whatsoever. When she asked me out, I was skeptical. When we slept together, more likely, but can't be too sure. When we got married, I'm pretty sure she likes me. She was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. This much is true. You lick them without permission. You just go for it. Facial licks are the most effective. Assuming the person is single or trifling, you ask to see that person again in a different context and the negotiation for available time and date is quick and mutually complete. No just friends overtone about it. Thursday at 8, not available, not into you. Thursday at 8, not available, but what about Friday at 9? Else. Look for physicality, proximity, and eye contact when totally unnecessary. Jealousy or defeat. It's subtle when interacting with someone else or the interested person's gender. Caveat all this with me being terrible about noticing it. My wife points this out to me when we're in public. Once I see it, it's obvious, but until then it's a mystery to me. The friendly, honest approach has worked for me. You seem really nice. Someone I'd like to go out with. If you'd like that too. If they're already spoken for or disinterested, they'll let you know. Either way, I've noticed that they seem to appreciate the attention. If they sense you're being sincere. Are you attractive? I've noticed women that have been interested in me have started a random conversation with me, like asking advice about something. If a woman compliments you on something, could be your eyes, or your jacket, or pretty much anything, that might be a clue. Women play with hair, or adjust it more, making more than usual eye contact. Also, if you are sitting next to them, and their knees are pointing a bit towards you, that is a sign, as well. If they get under a table and start giving you head, also a clue. You give it a shot, and if they reject your advances, you stop giving it a shot. Easiest way, ask them out on a few dates, have sex with them, start a relationship. Take them out some more, go to fancy dinners and parties, take them on holiday and stuff like that. Then, after you've tried that for a few years, ask them if they want to marry you. If they say yes, they're probably interested. I had this same confusion. I had this really cute girl in a few of my classes last school year, starting liking her. But this year I only had one class with her and by now I fully liked her. And then I did a class change and she isn't in any of them. But the problem I had was she is literally the nicest person I know. I can't fully explain it, but she's never been rude. Always smiling. That whole thing. Along with that, I've never heard of her liking anyone else. So why would I be the first? Well, long story short, she actually did end up liking me and we just went on our first date a few days ago. Unfortunately, I don't have much advice on it though, lol. The eyes, Chico. Always the eyes. I'm ugly, unlovable, and unlikable, so I just assume people are being nice. That being said, when I'm just being nice I can see how it could be perceived or read as not just being nice. I'm rather expressive with my movements, But at the end of the day, I'm not thinking about anyone, just healing myself while sitting on my sofa. True story. Simple. You just say are you attracted to me or just being friendly? The fastest route between 2 points is a straight line. Apparently you can never quite tell. I go to this store quite often and one of the cashiers said to me, "We gotta stop meeting like this." Which to me, a guy, means that you want to meet someplace that isn't there at that location. I said this on another post a while back and someone told me, "Oh no, that wasn't a flirt." I say that to customers all the time. And to me, that's a weird thing to say as a casual comment. Maybe I'm wrong, but I wasn't thinking about feeling it out anyway. She's attractive but I don't wanna date. I know they need to be friendly and I encounter that all the time. That's a different kind of general friendliness. This I wasn't sure how to take but I left it alone. For me, I flat out told him that I liked him and if he asked me out I would say yes. He said thanks and never asked me out or responded in any way that he liked me back. Bummer. A few months later we kissed. He was like, "So, you like me?" I should have smacked him upside the head. Apparently he thought I just said that to him to be nice. You ask them if they're from Canada. If not, then you got yourself a new boo. Hooray. As a woman who is very friendly and has had some misunderstandings because of this, here's what I notice is different when I'm flirting versus being friendly. If I'm interested in someone I will laugh, sort of leaning into them. When I'm not, my laughs are more throw your head back away from whomever I'm talking to relatedly. If I'm flirting I'll find ways to make casual physical contact, like kind of lay my hand on their forearm when laughing or stand a bit closer so our shoulders touch. If I'm just friendly with a guy I make very certain not to physically touch anywhere. If I'm making friends with a new guy, I'll very pointedly suggest we do things with a group. If I'm flirting I'll suggest something that has the potential for us to be alone together. If I'm attracted to a guy, I often find myself posing like, I think, hope, it's subtle, but I'll tilt my head or readjust my hair into positions I know are more flattering. Hope this helps. I'm sure there are other things that I haven't thought of. You always assume the person is being friendly. I don't know, but I definitely don't want to accidentally let anyone on. That's why I'm a big nick to everyone at all times. Pretty sure asking them is a good way to go about that problem. Flirt a little and assess reaction. If they react anything less than politely, then that's a no. If they respond by blushing or they flirt back, gradually escalate, then straight up ask, "I like you. Can I interest you in coffee, date, dinner, etc.?" I guess asking is really the only way to know. If they say you woo or ow, I call the cops. From personal experience, as a man, the women who turned out were attracted to me touched me a lot, held eye contact, smiled a lot, and laughed at my jokes, even the not funny ones. Always found the excuse to be near me, made sure I had a good view of their goods, cleavage, butt, legs, etc., whichever they thought was best, inquired about my relationship status, talked about their relationship status, unprompted, fed me things, or gave bought drinks, asked to see my tattoos, which required pulling my shirt off. Also, I noticed that there is a certain type of women who are attracted to me, and who in turn I find attractive as well. So in most cases I just assume mutual attraction and plow forward with flirting as hardcore as I can get away with. If they point out she liked the size of your hands or something stupid, she probably likes you. If she comments on height or random obvious shit, it's probably nothing. No one points out my hand size if they don't like me. I found that out. I love how like no one in this thread knows. I came here to help me identify clues. Damn it, Reddit. LOL. You don't. Everybody approaches it differently. You could give someone your number, ask them out on multiple one-on-one dinners, then find out they're not interested anyways because the word date was never used. No, I'm not bitter about a scenario that happened to me. Shut up. The only thing you can do is be as forward as possible, even if it makes things awkward. No games. No beating around the bush. No assuming. They may be genuine nice folk. If you are interested, why don't you make the first move? Wait, you got physical social interaction? How lucky. Looks like someone's in love. We don't. Ha 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 ha, why do you ducking think we are on Reddit? Eyes. If the pupils are way wider than usual when you chat tete-a-tete. Extra points if you know that they weren't as wide before you started conversation, but then most probably they are into you. Or they can just be androgynous that are called love. Woo. There are many other small signs you can notice, but eyes, at least emo, are the most reliable indicator. You can't, and no one on Reddit will be able to give you concrete advice that work in every situation. Coming to Reddit for social advice is like asking a nun how to spice up your sixth life. You don't. At some point, you have to accept that if you don't risk rejection, your options are exponentially reduced and you will miss out on the greatest life has to offer. There are a lot of people who could be very attracted to you, but they are too scared to make the first move. Think you should make the first move. Don't believe in being that direct. Don't think you are attracted enough in return for them to risk it. Are busy and distracted and just didn't engage enough to express what they feel. I grew up painfully introverted and ended up in relationships with awful people because I settled for who would take me. Life is too short and your best years for dating go by very, very quickly. Set up an active, fun, hobby-filled life and talk to everyone. No, not just the people you want to date. Everyone who has your same passion for life. You will develop a kind of magnet or life spark in you that will give great stories, great life goals, consistent weekend plans, and the truth will emerge. Everyone is attracted to you, not always in a relationship way, but you become a beacon of wisdom, adventure and fun, and you will be shocked at how many people you know will invite you places and introduce you to others. In the end, if you want to spend more time with someone you are attracted to, invite them to join in on the exciting life you already have going. If they join in, fine. If not, their loss. If they are attracted to you in a relationship way, they will find time to be with you or will try to reschedule if they can't make it to where you suggested. It's all about their behavior. At the end of the day, you just have to take a leap of faith and make a move. Else, you risk passage into the dreaded friend zone. Something that's helped me in these situations is to not play the does she like me or not game, but instead play the I'm not into her but actually am game. It has worked way more than I thought it would. Just talk to her casually over time till you truly figure out if she's into you beyond basic clues here and there. You get to know them without trying to have sex with them. If they are attracted to you, it will become obvious. If they are not, you've still made a friend. If it's your cousin, they're attracted to you. If it's your crush, they're just being friendly. Just some advice for the future. Depends. Each person has their own ways of showing sympathy and interest, although in most cases the behavior is somewhat similar within the sixes. Men tend to do stupid things next to someone they like, and most of them can't hide their attraction properly. They will take a look at you every time they got a chance and their voice will be weaker. Women are a bit more complex. Their behavior is more subtle and you need to pay more attention. If they act playful, mysterious, and shy provocative towards you, then there is a high chance they are into you. To sort out if they are being just friendly or if they are attracted, try inviting them to do something with you and observe the effects on them. If they act normally, they just want to be friends. If their mood improves, then they are probably attracted to you. Of course, I don't guarantee you this will always work, but I believe you have a good chance of finding out doing this. Had a girl sit in my lap when I was nude in a hot tub without me realizing what could have been. She wore only a top since no one could ever see what was under the surface. Took me 6 years before I was able to connect the dots, so I'm not the expert in this thread. If they sleep with you, they're probably attracted. If you're married, your wife is just being friendly. Just ask. Stop guessing and wondering what if. Worst case scenario, she says it was just friendly banter. It's not the end of the world. Rejection is a numbers game anyway. It matters if you're a guy or a girl, but it also matters how attractive you are. There's the basic science, of course. Like, did their pupils dilate? Did the room seemingly get brighter when you saw this person? There's genetic attraction and there's infatuation. If you're a guy, Be careful. Although there are great people out there who seriously wouldn't mind being hit on, there's also people who will call you out for being aggressive or too forthcoming. If you're chick, be careful. Although there are great people out there who seriously wouldn't mind being hit on, there's also people who will call you out for being aggressive or too forthcoming. Creep, sleut, it's all the same. The key is to treat everyone like a human. Don't overinterpret anything. Just be friendly with everyone and the whole romance thing will fall into place like Legos. Shoot, I gotta go serve justice. Thanks for listening. If I sparked joy, hit me with a like and subscribe. I make new videos every day. Till then, check out another video or leave a comment. I love you. Have a great day, you wonderfully gorgeous person.